So I want to start off with a question. Do you have a productive office? Or I guess the question really is, did you have a productive office? Did you have a nice, organized workspace where you could get to everything, do what you needed to, and simply work? But how productive are you now that you're at home? Perhaps the home office has evolved into a more personal space, and I guess no one is looking, so you get to make it your own. But productivity means access, and access means connectivity. And what do I mean by that? Well, one of the reasons you're productive at work is that you have access to the tools and information you need at the office. But today, the office has left the building. And when you're at home, it's just you and your little buddy. And to get yourself productive, you have to get connected back to the office, access to the tools, process, and flow just like before. So if productivity is tied to connectivity, what is the problem with getting people remotely connected? Well, here's the problem. You don't have time to engineer, time to program or scale like a normal project. And when I say time, I just don't mean somebody putting a task on their list to get the job done. There's actually a scale issue here. Many organizations that support teleworking only engineered a small percentage of their workforce to be out. Depending on your organization, this could be 1 to maybe 20%. Now, it's 99% are out of the office instantly. And there's so much to do that traditional IT teams are just overwhelmed. And that's on top of keeping the normal systems up and running, even in this bizarre world of social distancing. There's an immense pressure to get back to work and get your users up and running now. Let's look at a couple of main technical issues around connectivity. If you've ever used a VPN, then these problems are not new. And VPNs are not easy to deploy or troubleshoot. Things like overlapping IP addresses, or when you have the same network on both ends of a link. For a VPN, you're dead in the water. And the smart guys will tell you, I just put a NAT on it. Well, then that breaks other things. A NAT has a side effect of being a mini firewall of sorts. Do you really want to block users' access to the network you're trying to give users access to? Things like VoIP through NAT create all sorts of problems, like the phone rings, but you can't hear the person on the other end, no matter how much you scream. In fact, we had a customer just 2 weeks ago had this exact problem. They're a multinational corporation, and everybody was working from home. To stay connected, they were putting their office phones on forward to their cell phones, which is a really good idea in a pinch. Problem is you can't transfer, put on hold, park calls on a cell phone. So when they tried with a competitor's VPN using IPsec, it broke their SIP phones. It just didn't work. They ended up Googling for an alternative solution, landed on us, and we were able to get them up and going with AutoConnect. Traditional VPNs, like IPsec, just can't get the job done. Easy and IPsec do not go hand in hand. In fact, I have a white paper on TLS versus IPsec, which we will send out to you as part of the document bundle after this webinar. And when you add all of the issues above, security goes out the window too. You can't be secure if the connectivity isn't right. So now what? In order to make this work, you have to make it easy and immediate. It has to be complete and touchless. You can't send a tech to every house to set up a router, set up a network, troubleshoot a PC software client. Are you going to fight NATs and one-way audio and VLAN issues? It just doesn't scale. Other solutions want you to do a virtual desktop or VDI, connect into the cloud, or some other type of P2P system. But you still have to connect the head-end office to that same cloud to be able to get end-to-end connectivity. Any solution has to support wired and wireless and be transparent to the applications. If not, you're going to end up retraining your staff, which is pushing the problem down and creating time and productivity issues. Also, secure means not going through somebody else's cloud or peer-to-peer. When you do that, you lose control of your security and privacy. Just look at the new term we learned, Zoom bombing. So how do we overcome these challenges? We've created technology called AutoConnect to address all of these issues head on. In direct terms, AutoConnect sets up the network so two IpTL appliances can establish a secure tunnel between themselves. No configuration of the appliances, no configuration of the routers or firewalls, no port forwards, static IPs, user-proof, application-proof, and network-proof. And one note, AutoConnect is not a peer-to-peer service, which is a gotcha with many of the other providers out there, especially some IPsec guys. With AutoConnect, you can take your VoIP phone home, plug it in, and your extension and all your PBX functions will work, including call transfer, hold, paging, all work perfectly. Now, let me show you how easy it is. So if you can plug in a power adapter and a network cable, you can actually deploy today. It is easy as that. When you order a pair of 7111s from us, we can automatically set them for AutoConnect to each other at the factory. This way you don't even have to log into an appliance. Of course, AutoConnect is a standard feature that you can manually set, and it's available on every IpTL appliance, and we'll show you how to do that here in a moment. So what happens after you have an AutoConnect session? Well, we call it the world's longest Ethernet cable, or true LAN extension. This means those remote ports, those yellow ports on the remote appliance, they're literally on the head end LAN. So when you plug in your phone or your laptop in, it will DHCP through the tunnel to the head end. If your PC needs to log on to a Windows domain, no problem. It works just like it is local. Your drive shares, your printer, again, they all work like they're sitting there at the head end. And by the way, the remote network is isolated from the head end. Why is this important? Well, first, no IP address clashes. Second, all of your corporate firewall rules still are being fully implemented and in full effect, including IPS, IDS, access rules, etc. Third, if you're running 802.1x authentication, that authentication will actually go through the tunnel and allow you to talk to the authentication server. And finally, fourth, users on that home LAN won't be able to swim upstream through the tunnel to your corporate network. This keeps kids from streaming Minecraft through your office. So, how does it work? Yes, in fact, we do deploy our own technology extensively in our own operations. This is Antoine. He is our Mid-East Business Development Director, and he has a 7111 in his office with a Polycom IP phone connected to our PBX. And for security, of course, his kids and his wife, they're isolated. They can't come up into our corporate network. And he is on our LAN, our network, being productive. And you can't tell he's 8,000 miles away. So let's see how AutoConnect really works underneath the hood. When you power on, our appliances are always looking to make a connection. Once they get a network address, they'll register with our AutoConnect orchestration server. And the orchestration server manages some of the algorithms we use to identify and determine the network path between each of the appliances. You can see there we have a system ID and a peer MAC ID. We use the MAC address, the Ethernet MAC address of each appliance to give it its unique identity, and we tell each appliance to talk to its peer. We can do this at the factory prior to ship, or you can do this on the web interface. And once the link is up, the AutoConnect server is no longer used, and your data always goes between your appliances. So one of the major points of our solution is that we are not a peer-to-peer service, and that your data does go between your appliances. So the first thing here is we need to advise everybody where they are on the network. I have another white paper on our real-time resource IP resolution feature that we will send as part of the download package after the webinar that explains exactly how this works. So this is where the magic sauce comes in. If you watch that status information window, you'll see an actual live unedited AutoConnect sequence begin between my appliance in my office and one in our data center in Northern Virginia. So what's happening? Well, each unit will seek to establish an inbound port on at least one side of the connection. This is needed really only for the server termination of a tunnel, as outbound connections generally don't have any issue with NATs or most firewalls. Once a port is found, one appliance will become the server and the other will become a remote. After that, the tunnel connection will start. And by the way, at this point, the tunnel startup is no different than if you had manually set the configuration. AutoConnect just sets up the path. And that's it. You now have a full, transparent LAN extension between your sites, secure and automatic. AutoConnect is a standard feature in all IpTL appliances and is designed for point-to-point LAN extension. I'll show you a multi-point diagram here in a few slides. If you order a pair of 7111s, we can pre-configure them for AutoConnect, which means each peer MAC ID points to the opposite unit. Or if you already have some IpTL appliances, you can go to the web page under FlexPath AutoConnect and you can set them yourself. So what you've seen really here is AutoConnect solving all these connectivity issues head on and enables a pop-up network LAN extension. Easy to use with no configurations, no fighting with setups or troubleshooting. Connect all your devices and applications, and it's secure, keeps your office LAN protected. Of course, AutoConnect is one feature we have. There are a lot of applications you can do with our appliances. One of the questions we get asked about is multipoint. Well, we can scale from 1 to thousands of connections. In this case, we would put a single port forward on the router at the head end only to be used by all the remotes. This gives a deterministic data path for multiple connections and enables advanced security options that aren't needed with a single point-to-point link. We also have many customers that will start with a pair of units in AutoConnect for a demo, and once they like that, they can actually redeploy them into multi-point solutions. And this is one of the great things about our appliances is that they're all interoperable. So this slide starts a series that breaks the PowerPoint slide rule of no more than 6 words per page, but it is my presentation, so I'm going to go for it. One of the questions we get asked often is how are you different than a VPN? Well, here is the quick top 10. And what we're talking about AutoConnect, we're actually talking about that first bullet point, LAN extension. This is the most important one. And it's key because we provide a clean network pipe, including unicast, broadcast, multicast, IPv4, IPv6, multicast DNS, UPnP, Bonjour, you name it. Why does this matter? Well, when you open up your file folder, all your corporate drive shares show up. When you want to print, all your printers show up. And when you make a call, everyone can hear you. I want to just take a quick slide to tell you a little bit about us. We are the designers. We are the manufacturer. We design, we build it, we ship it. It's our stuff, our source code. We do love innovating, and we have many patents on those innovations, including AutoConnect. And I just received word that we have another patent coming out in about 2 weeks. We've been a global-centric company from day one, which is great because we're able to take all of that industry knowledge from all over the world and incorporate that into our solutions. Of course, we have a complete product line of appliances, some with embedded Wi-Fi, some with embedded cellular, and of course, virtual editions. They're all fully interoperable, they're all fully compatible with each other, and they're all managed in exactly the same way. Our social proof is strong, and this is one of my most favorite slides. We love nothing more to hear from happy customers. Customers that had a problem that we were able to solve, and we solved it well. Now, we had a great turnout for this event, and I'd like to extend a special offer to all that stayed with me on this presentation. As a special thank you, we are offering a 2-for-1 special on a pair of Model 7111s with AutoConnect through tomorrow. You can email me at scott@iptechnologylabs.com or go to the link above, the iptechlabs.com GoRemote, and we'll be happy to take care of you. And now, with AutoConnect, you can pop up your remote network and be happy and productive just like Antoine. And thank you so much for your attention.